Far away, beyond the mountains, oceans, and clouds, there was a magical kingdom called Luminar. This kingdom was unlike any other because its nights were always bright and glittering. The reason behind this beautiful sparkle was a young princess named Stardust, a girl with silver hair, shining eyes, and a heart full of kindness. She had a special gift. She could control the stars. With a wave of her hand, she could make them glow brighter, move across the sky, or even create new patterns. But Stardust never used her powers to show off. She used them to help lost travelers find their way. Every night, when the people of Luminar finished their work and went home to rest, Stardust climbed the tallest tower of the palace. The tower was made of crystal that sparkled under the moonlight. From there, she looked over her kingdom and the lands beyond. If she saw anyone traveling in the darkness, someone who was confused, scared, or wandering the wrong way, she whispered to the stars, and they rearranged themselves into shining arrows that pointed the traveler to safety. Stardust's best friend was a little firefly named Glimmer. Glimmer was small, bright, and full of energy. He followed Stardust everywhere she went and always kept her company while she worked. Sometimes, when she felt tired after guiding many travelers, Glimmer danced around her in tiny glowing circles to make her laugh. He loved his princess more than anything. One evening, the kingdom was celebrating the Festival of Lights, a special night when families lit golden lamps in their homes and thanked the stars for protecting them. Music filled the air. Children laughed, and delicious sweets were shared. But while everyone enjoyed the celebration, Stardust felt a soft pull in her heart. It was the same feeling she got whenever someone needed help. She walked to the tower with Glimmer following behind. When she reached the top, she closed her eyes and let her gift guide her. Soon, she saw it far beyond the kingdom, deep inside the sleeping forest. A little girl was lost. She sat under a tree crying and holding a broken lantern. She had been on her way to the festival in Luminar with her family, but a strong wind blew, separating her from her parents. Now, she had no idea where to go. Stardust touched the sky gently with her fingertips. The stars shimmered and brightened, but something was wrong. When she tried to move them, they flickered weakly. The patterns cracked and disappeared. Glimmer buzzed nervously. The stars, they're losing their light, Stardust whispered. She tried again, but the sky stayed dim. Just then, the palace shook slightly. A long, soft rumble filled the air. Glimmer flew to Stardust's shoulder, frightened. In the distance, a dark cloud began to spread. But this was not a normal cloud. It was heavy, oily, and glowing in a strange purple color. Stardust recognized it immediately. It was the shadow haze, an ancient darkness that fed on fear and confusion. It had been sealed away for hundreds of years, but now it had broken free. It entered the sky and swallowed the starlight one by one. If all the stars went dark, no traveler would ever find their way again. Stardust knew she had to act quickly. She called for her flying star carriage, or magical chariot made of shooting stars. But when she tried to summon it, only tiny sparks appeared. The sky wasn't strong enough to support the carriage. She took a deep breath. "If the stars can't lift me," she said, "then I will go myself." She wrapped her shimmering cloak around her shoulders, held Glimmer safely in her hands, and rushed down the tower. She ran through the palace garden, where silver flowers glowed softly beside the pathways, and out through the main gate. She headed straight toward the sleeping forest. Her steps glowed faintly with every movement, leaving a light trail behind her in case anyone needed to find her. As she entered the forest, the darkness thickened. The shadow haze curled between the trees, whispering confusing sounds to make travelers walk in circles. Glimmer's glow started to dim. Even the princess felt a bit scared, but she kept moving. "I must reach the girl," she said firmly. "If I save her, the stars might shine again." After some time, she heard a soft sob. It was the lost girl, sitting under an old oak tree. Stardust knelt beside her. Are you hurt, little one? She asked gently. The girl looked up, her eyes big with fear. I can't find my family. My lantern broke, and everything is so dark. Stardust smiled kindly. You don't need a lantern anymore. I'm here now. But before they could move, the shadow haze swirled around them. It hissed angrily, forming tall shapes that blocked the way. Glimmer hid behind Stardust's hair. The little girl trembled and held the princess's hand tighter. Stardust stood tall. You cannot scare me, she said to the darkness. Not while someone needs my help. She looked at Glimmer. Are you ready? Glimmer nodded, even though his glow was weak. Stardust placed her palm on the forest floor and closed her eyes. She reached deep inside her heart where her star gift lived. She remembered all the times she had helped people, all the smiles she had brought, and all the thanks she had received. That warm feeling grew brighter and brighter until her entire body glowed. With a powerful breath, she raised her hands toward the sky. A soft beam of silver light burst from her palms and shot upward. It broke through the shadow haze like a sword of hope. The stars, seeing her strength and kindness, flickered awake. One star lit up, then another, until the whole sky sparkled again. The darkness screamed and faded. The shadow haze dissolved into tiny harmless particles and blew away with the wind. The night became clear and calm again. The little girl stared up at the sky, amazed. Princess, you saved me. Stardust smiled and squeezed her hand. No, you helped me save the stars. I remembered why I received my gift because kindness is stronger than darkness. With the stars bright again, Stardust waved her hand and created a glowing pathway of stardust on the ground. The path led straight to Luminar. The little girl happily walked beside her while Glimmer danced around with excitement. When they reached the kingdom, the girl's parents ran toward them with tears of relief. They hugged her tightly and thanked Stardust again and again. That night, the entire kingdom gathered round the palace tower. They cheered for their brave princess. But Stardust simply smiled and said, I only did what my heart told me. The stars shine brightest when we help one another. From that day on, everyone in Luminara trusted the stars even more, and Stardust, along with Glimmer, continued watching over the skies, guiding travelers, protecting the light, and reminding the world that no journey is too dark when kindness leads the way. And somewhere in the forest, where she once fought the shadows, a tiny flower grew overnight, a glowing white blossom that shimmered with silver dust. People said it was a gift from the stars, honoring the princess who kept their light alive. Princess Stardust's story spread across lands near and far. Children whispered it before bedtime, travelers repeated it at campfires, and sailors looked up at the night sky with hope, knowing someone was always watching over them, even today. When a traveler is lost and unsure which way to go, a bright star suddenly appears, twinkling like a tiny smile, and everyone knows it's Stardust, guiding them home.